Hey there. I'm glad you're watching this video because it means that you're taking your reviews seriously, which is very important because getting very SEO optimized reviews regularly on your Google business profile is going to be one of the best ways to improve your rankings. So what I'm going to do is explain all the ways that you can use Paige's review tools to quickly help improve your rankings. So let's just jump right in. The first thing I want to do is show you that I am here on the reviews tab of our test page account. If I click over here, it's going to open up our review request link in a new tab. And what I want to point out is a couple different ways that you can customize this based on your liking. So if you click on this preference icon, you can see that you can change every piece of information about this review tool. You can even select where the good buttons go, like happy faces, or where the bad ones go, such as to a bad review form. If you want to change the wording, you can change it all. And if you wanted to change the suggested reviews, you can do that as well. And I'll show you that in a second. So how does this work? Well, based on the settings I have right now, if I say that I was a 5-star review, it's then going to ask me what I like the most. That's what we call suggested reviews, where it's now going to help give the user an idea for what they should leave as a review. I'm going to say that I liked the flavor the most. Now what Paige is doing is writing a review that talks about how great the flavor was at this restaurant, so that when they leave this review, it has a lot of keywords in it. So it's right now stitching in the target keywords that you're trying to rank for to really educate Google on what it is that your business does. So that now when I go to click and copy to go to Google, it put that review on my phone. And now all that I need to do is hit the 5 stars and hit paste. And you now are going to get a very SEO optimized review from your customer. If they want to change it before they publish it, they always can. They can do it from here or the tool. But that's called suggested reviews, and you can customize it. The next thing that I want to show you is that you can also customize this. So if you're trying to reward your employees for getting more reviews, what you can do is put in the employee's name. So I'm going to say the employee's name is James. And you can even put in the service that they offered so that it writes something about that. So I'm going to say James did service equals, let's just say he's a server. This is our restaurant example. If we send this link to a customer and they say 5 stars, it's going to ask again what they liked. And now Paige's suggested review is mentioning that James was friendly and the server made sure my order was perfect, blah, blah, blah. So it can stitch together these different pieces of information when writing these reviews to always keep them very unique. And so that now you can go and give James a little reward for getting you another 5-star review. Okay, now that you understand how the review tool works and how you can order it. I also want to mention that if you were to get bad reviews, which can happen from time to time, people can be crazy, someone on your team can mess up, anything can happen. Paige will actually go and flag those bad reviews on Google automatically for you to help you get those taken down. Now, nobody can guarantee that bad reviews will be removed, but whenever they come in for your business, we are going to automatically flag them and tell you why you should flag them yourself. Because the more people that flag them for the same reason, the more likely Google is to get rid of them. Okay, the next thing that you can do to get more reviews is order an NFC card. So if you see down here, there's this option to order an NFC card. I'm going to click order now. And all that you need to do is tell us where to mail it. And then a couple days later, you're going to get in the mail an envelope that looks like this. It is a plain white envelope that doesn't say merchant anywhere. So if you're a marketing agency ordering this for a client, you can see here it says that it's from the NFC review card fulfillment department, and then it's the address of a shipping company that cannot be traced back to merchant. And so when you get this, and it'll be addressed to your client or yourself with your business name, it comes with 2 things inside. Number 1 is a little flyer that says your NFC card is ready and exactly instructions on how to use it. And then the second thing is an NFC card in a sleeve so that you can just ask your clients whenever you're done helping them to just tap their phone against it. And what it will do is bring up your Paige review request link on their phone to make it very easy to get them a review. So to order that, you just go through this process here and you'll receive one of these in the mail within about a week if the USPS does their job well. The next thing that you can do is, let's say you're a contractor and you complete a job, and then at the end you have a clipboard and you need them to sign something. Well, you can also print out this QR code here, just hit the download button, and then put that on your clipboard. And then when you're completing a job, just ask your customer to scan that to leave you a review. And again, it's going to bring up this tool on their cell phone, and it is mobile responsive because most people are leaving a review from their cell phone. This works well for other types of businesses where your customers are coming to you, like a med spa or a dental practice or any kind of medical facility where customers are or patients are going and they're standing in front of you. It's a great place to put a QR code so they can easily scan it to leave you a review. Let's now talk about some advanced things that you can do to make sure that you're just steadily getting more and more reviews so you can see how Paige can help you. So when you get your review request link, you should start adding it to all of your existing customer communications. So what you should do is copy this URL and place it in the bottom of your email signature. Something very simple that says, how do we do? Please take 30 seconds and leave us a review, and then put that link at the end would suffice. It might not get that many reviews, but if it gets you just one extra one, it is worth it. The other thing that you can do is think about all of the other messages that you're already sending to your customers or patients so that you can just put that link in those. So for example, if you're using an accounting tool that sends an invoice when you mark a job as complete in that system that you're already using, then just add this link somewhere in that message, whether it's an email or an SMS, so that it just gets added to whatever system you already have in place to ask your customers for reviews. The more you can bake in the process of asking for reviews into your operation, the more likely it is that you're going to just get reviews. So take a second, pause the video, and think, what are the emails or text messages that we're already routinely sending our customers? And how can we just add this review link into that so that we can start getting reviews without having to do anything extra every day? And if you don't want to do that and you want an additional email to get sent, then please keep watching. I'm going to talk about all the advanced ways that you can do this if you don't have any fancy tools in place. All right, the next thing that I want to show you is how you can easily trigger Paige to ask your customers for reviews. So I'm going to head over now to the automation tab and go to review management and scroll down. You're going to see this section that says automatically ask for reviews. And for this to work, you first need to connect your Google account. So if you have access to a Google account that you want to send review requests to your clients from, then click this connect your Google account and log into that Google account. If you want a client or someone else on your team to be the one whose inbox is sending these review request emails from, then just click this option to connect a client's email and then send it to that person. And then they can just follow the steps here to log in and give Paige the ability to email your customers as though they're them. And the reason why that's very important and more powerful than just using like a general messaging system is that if the emails are coming from your own business's email account, then they're far more likely to get opened and make it in the inbox, which means you're more likely to actually get the review. And best of all, if a customer responds to that email, it'll go into your inbox, right? So it just makes it a lot easier and seamless for both you and your customers. And so you can connect any Google email, whether it's a Gmail or a Google Workspace professional email. As long as it's powered by Google, you can connect it here. So once you have your Google email connected, you now have two ways to automate review requests, which means getting Paige the email addresses of the people that you want Paige to email. So the two options are you can enroll them with a BCC link, and then you can see what that BCC is here, or you can enroll them through a webhook. So this one is meant to be very simple for non-technical people. Let me show you how it works. Okay, so let's say that it is time to email my client an invoice. I'm going to do this manually because I don't have software. What I'm going to do is copy my BCC link for my business here, and I'm going to go into my Gmail, or this can be any email account. It does not matter. So if someone else on your team is who's sending the like the final email to your customers, or it's another software that's doing it, or it's a Microsoft account, it really doesn't matter as long as it has the ability to BCC an email address. So what I'm going to do is add the BCC here, and I'm going to paste in this email address, the BCC email that Paige gave me, and then I'm going to send this to myself just as an example. And now what I'm going to do is say, hey, Justin, thanks for your business. The invoice is attached. Cheers, Justin. So this is like an email that I'm sending to a customer, basically saying, thanks, I appreciate your business. And I'm not saying anything about a review right here. Let's put a subject. And what's going to happen when I hit send here is that it is then going to send whoever is in the to field, so in this case, justin@merchant.com, into this review campaign. It's then going to wait half an hour or whatever time you said. And then it's going to send the first email, which you can fully customize. But by default, the subject is thank you. Thank you for choosing, and then the name of your business. We hope you had a great experience. Your feedback really helps us improve and also helps other customers find us. Would you mind taking 30 seconds to leave us a quick review? Then it links to your Paige review link. We read every single one and truly appreciate your support. Thanks again, your business's team. And again, you can fully customize this. So then this will be sent from whatever email address you connected up here. And then it's going to wait. By default, it'll wait 2 days or whatever amount you set. You can pick between hours and days. And then Paige will check to see if that person left a review for your business on Google. And if they didn't, it can send a follow-up email just being like, hey, have you had a chance to leave a review yet? Blah, 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 or whatever else you want to say in this moment. So this is a very powerful feature because some people might forget to leave a review, in which case you can remind them, or maybe they did leave a review. This way you're not going to bug someone that already did you the favor. So again, all that you need to do is connect up a Google-powered email, and then somebody on your team, when sending an email to your client that represents the end of the transaction or whenever you want them to be enrolled in this review campaign, just needs to take this BCC email and put it in the BCC or the CC field. And then whenever they send that email, whoever the email was addressed in the to field will be sent to Paige, and then Paige will ask them for reviews. Pretty simple and doesn't require any technical work at all. You're just BCCing an email address. Okay, the next option is enrolling with a webhook. So what this webhook option does, if you're not familiar, is basically opens up Paige to every other software application in the world. So to make it work with this webhook, what you'll need to do is use an integration middleware like Zapier or Make or N8N. And people have their preference of which one they like the best. I think all of them have free tiers, and I believe that Make lets you use webhook options without having to pay anything, as does N8N if you self-host it. But even if you're a Zapier fan, it's not very expensive to use, and their professional plan does allow you to use webhooks. So what you would do in this to get a webhook to work is sign up for any of these automation tools. And I'm mostly familiar with Zapier, so I'm just going to show you theirs. You can see here, they connect to thousands of different apps out there. So no matter what you're using, if it's a point of sale system, a scheduling tool, a booking tool, just a Google Sheet, what you can do is integrate that tool with Zapier to send your customers' email to Paige. So that was just a very small amount that I just scrolled through. If you search, you'll see there are tons of other ones available. Let me show you how to set one of these up using our webhook. The first thing that you need to do once you're inside Zapier or any of these tools is figure out what is your trigger going to be. And so, for example, let's say that you use Service Titan. You'll then see all of the different events that would allow a trigger to take place. So what I can say now is, let's go and say there was a new invoice that was finalized, and then you'll connect up your Service Titan account, or maybe you just put all of your customers into a Google Sheet. That's okay. You can just use a Google Sheet as well and say whenever there's a new or updated Google Sheet, or you could even get even simpler and say whenever I fill out a Google form, I am going to then do something. But I'll leave it on Google Sheet for now, because the next thing that you need to do is pick the webhook option. So what I'm going to do here is choose webhooks and action event. And what we're going to do is select post. And rather than go through this setup with you, because we have a much more advanced guide on how to do the webhook option, basically what you need to know about this is that all you would do is create a trigger. So where is the email coming from? And then have an action which then sends that email address for your customer into your Paige account. That way you don't need to copy and paste anything. Whenever something happens in whatever software you're already using, that email address will get thrown into Paige. And again, we have a guide which we'll link to below that goes into full detail about how you can use the webhooks. All right, so first, thank you so much for watching this far. If you found this helpful, then please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, ask any comments or questions that you have in the comment section below, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Getting reviews is very important, so me and my team are very eager to help you with it. Okay, if you're a small business owner, you can stop watching this because the rest of the video is now going to be geared towards marketing agencies who are trying to help their clients get more reviews. So again, thank you so much, and let's continue. So if you're a marketing agency owner and you're struggling to get your clients to actually get reviews, then keep watching, because this is where we're going to talk about what you can do. And if you watch the first part of this video, you know that you can just ask them to include this BCC email when they're emailing their customers, but some of them are just not going to do it. And so you're going to have to take matters into your own hand. And what you can do is use, one of these platforms, Zapier, Make, or N8N, and integrate, whatever software they have with Paige, so that just happens automatically. And that is definitely the best option, like hands down. Spend the time to help your client do that. It'll pay back in spades in terms of performance and their happiness with you. But let's just say that they don't have any good software in place. Then what you'll need to do is create an easy way for your clients to manually send you their customers' email addresses so that you can enroll them in Paige. So let me show you an easy way that I found to do this. And there are some simpler, more beautiful, seamless ways to do it, but they do cost money. And I'm trying to keep this as free as possible for you, which is why I am going with Google Forms and Google Sheets for this. But let me show you how it works. Basically, the system that I thought of and want to show you is one where you only have to create a Google form once and a Google Sheet once, and then you just send a modified link of the form to each of your clients. That way, you don't need to create a new form and sheet for every single client that you onboard. So the way that this Zapier is set up, and any of the automation tools that I send you can do this, is that there is a trigger for on a Google Sheet, so that whenever a new or updated spreadsheet row comes up, that it kicks off the automation. And then the next thing that it actions is a post webhook call to the Paige webhook, where you provide it both the slug and the email address provided. And the slug is everything after giveratings.com. So here, this part that I just put a box around is what we call the slug, or the business ID. And so for this to work, you need to simply get into Zapier, the slug, and the email address that you want to ask for the review. And then last, you need to put in the header, which is X API key, and then the API key is from inside your Paige account. So the way that you would need to do this is you need to set up a Google form. I set up this one. It took me about 5 minutes to do, where I threw in a banner. You can leave it or not. It's up to you, or put in your own custom one. And then there's just one where they need to basically log in using their Google account, so that you know who or which of your clients submitted it, in case you need to get in touch with them, because maybe they stripped out the business ID, which we're going to talk about in a second. And then you need to ask them which email address they want you to ask for a review. And then lastly, you need the business ID. Well, we all know that people are never going to remember their business ID. And so that's why this system is kind of clever and works. So what you can do once you publish this form is go over here to the three dots and say pre-fill form. So now what I'm going to do is pre-fill this form, and I'm going to put in this client's slug. Let's say I just sold to Rizzy's Burgers. I'm going to put in Rizzy's Burger slug here, and I'm going to say get link. And I'm going to copy this. And now what you're going to do is send this to your client. All right, so when they get here, it's going to know their Google ID or their Google email, or they can log in or change it. So what you're going to do is send them that URL that you just generated, which is specific to them. And when they get it, they're going to put in their customer's email address. And then you can see here the business ID is already in it because you pre-filled that form for them. And it says business ID internal do not change. Hopefully they do not change it. And then I'm just going to say submit. Okay. And one of the reasons why I don't love this option, again, is because it's a Google form and it's kind of broken. If you say submit another response, it removes that ID, right? So if your client wants to do a bunch, this does get a little clunky. And that's why paying for a paid tool that can use hidden fields, I know Jotform and ClickUp do it, it's going to be a little bit safer. But again, trying to keep this free for you. So what you would do is you would give that link to Rizzy's Burgers. And then let's say you got another client that you wanted to give this link to. What you do is, again, come over here, say pre-fill form, set the business ID to ABC-business or whatever the slug is for that one, say get form, or sorry, create link. And then you'll send them this link. And then whenever this client uses this link, it's going to pre-fill their slug. And then the cool thing is, and I'll show you the example. This is customer2@gmail.com. So the cool thing is now both of these submissions just went into the same Google Sheet. And it has the business ID here for each, which means that we only need to set up this one Zapier flow or automation using a single Google Sheet, Google form, and webhook call, because we are going to be able to give this from the same Google Sheet the information that's needed, which is the slug, because we're collecting it and we're putting it here, and the email address that we need to enroll. right? There's only two things you need to provide for this option to work: the slug and the emails. And so if you're just looking for a very low tech way to do this, that is going to be your best bet. Just give your customers a form, and you can either give them the slug and tell them remember to do it, or just give them the new link every single time. So hopefully one of these tools that we went over today will help your client or you get more reviews, because again, reviews are incredibly important for ranking for Google as well as AI platforms, and just building the reputation of your business all around, which can also help your paid ads convert. So please take the time to implement these review tools in your business, and you will see a big improvement. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.